Welcome into the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new and leave a 5-star review. I'm Shane Diefenbach. I'm back, and I'm joined by Johnny Venerable on this wonderful Wednesday. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, welcome back. Well rested, refreshed to take on the influx of Dallas Maverick fans who are undoubtedly tuning into this program. We appreciate their return, and we're excited to talk about this series tonight, sans the Phoenix Suns. I have exited my morning period of what happened Sunday night, which we won't speak of again. I'm excited to have a new series to talk about. The series that I was more looking forward to last night did not start off on the right foot, as Sean and I went heavy, in on the Celtics yesterday in your absence.
You out of that.
Well, the benefit of the hindsight there, Mr. Smarty Pants.
I'll show you my bet slip after the show.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, that'll probably be doctored. Here's the thing. The Celtics are not a great team to kick off series. They love to play from behind. We just talked about it off air. We both feel like they're still going to win the series. They're going to win game 2. I'm not buying this Miami team to win and beat the Celtics team 4 times, being so offensively challenged. But we can go ahead and look at my picks from yesterday. That's fine since Shane wasn't here. Here's what I had going. Celtics +2. That did not work out. It was unfortunate. But my Cardinals pick from the day before of over under 1.5 runs in the first inning, because it got pushed to a doubleheader. The under hit, which I'm proud of. My Arenado pick did not hit a home run. But yeah, Celtics, no go. Did not feel good after that third quarter. I think they got outscored by like 27 points or something ridiculous. Jason Tatum needs some help. Jaylen Brown cannot be a no-show for them to win this series. Hopefully that was his lone stinker for this best of 7. We can get back on track in game 2, Shano.
Yeah. What did Sean do yesterday?
Well, let's pull it up here.
No and no. Oh, no. Oh, not the Tuesday Tasties.
We're not going to dance on Sean's grave.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. He came in for you. It was a sub start. You know, I told him we were not calling him up from the minor leagues. He was a mid-season trade acquisition, a midweek trade acquisition. And, you know, even the best, even Cal Ripken went over 2.
That's fair. That's fair. Prop-wise, what'd you guys do?
Here's Johnny's props. Let's check them out here. Jason Tatum did not.
Why did you do this to yourself, Johnny?
Did you see his game 7 against Milwaukee?
Did you see his fire? What did he hit? 2 threes in this game?
I'm sorry. I look at data. I don't just guess. I look at data from prior games to be able to educate our audience.
Hell, your data looking has been bad when you're picking these long shot props, Mr. Johnny Venerable.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to score people money. Any Joe Schmo can flip a coin and say, "Oh, I like the money line for this game." I'm trying to make people money, and that's what I'm going to do again and again on this show today. Long odds, you have to spend money to make money. Long odds are where the big coin is. All right. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you a little insight. Tomorrow, I celebrate the 10-year wedding anniversary with myself and my wife. Okay. May 19th.
Congratulations.
Back in 2022. Thank you. If I am going to facilitate a gift of value, okay, I'm not going to do it betting -110s. I'm going to do it plus 380, plus 500 that I'm going to tap into today. Okay. I'm not going to get her, lavish gifts, shooting pennies on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I go for broke, okay?
Okay, that's fair. Well, let's talk about, before we get into picks and stuff, let's talk a little bit about the Deandre Ayton stuff. What would you like to see the Suns do with him? And do you think it's a foregone conclusion that he's just going to go somewhere else?
Well, everybody's telling me he's already dealt. Sean and I talked about it yesterday. Now, Gerald Bourguet, who does a phenomenal job covering the Suns for our channel, our network here, PHNX, was kind of the voice of reason on PHNX Suns. I think it was yesterday, basically saying, like, can we just take a breath here and not be reactionary? And I think, let me know what your thoughts on this are. The Philadelphia 76ers with Ben Simmons, they did not want to trade Ben Simmons, right? He forced his way out, even as ugly as that situation got. And this situation with Deandre Ayton is not a tenth of what that situation was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You have an asset, 23 years old, who, as Gerald put it so eloquently, is top 5 at his position. You're not just going to give him away. In my opinion, the only way, and I do think that it is not a center-driven league, obviously. I don't even know if a center can be one of your big 3 or big 2. We're going to find out here against Golden State with Luka Doncic. Like, it's still a guard wing league. So if you can go out and pivot and get a disgruntled Damian Lillard out of Portland, somebody like that, a wing perimeter scorer that can go 25, 30 points per game alongside Devin Booker, it's the only way and then get a guarantee that person's going to stay. It's the only way I'm doing this trade. If I'm just offsetting him for another big man of lesser value and some shit draft picks that I don't care about, then I'm not doing it. I'm saying DeAndre Ayton's 23. He's only going to get better. He's an asset we can use maybe at the trade deadline next year. But if it's too toxic and we're not informed of the situation, I guess you have to. I'm not going. If I'm the Suns, I'm not going to be forced into anything.
Yeah. What do you think this does for the title odds if they do make a move for a superstar? If they do get a Damian Lillard type guy, do you think they're the favorite next year?
I think if they get Dame Lillard to go with Devin Booker, you have to consider them the favorite in the West, just because I've seen Dame Lillard go toe-to-toe with Steph Curry and not have the support in Portland to get him over the top. Clearly, that organization has fallen apart. He was the kind of the lifeblood. He and CJ McCollum, who, by the way, has been fantastic. I think Devin Booker's better than anybody, he's played with all due respect to CJ. If they get him, even though he's a little older, I think his game's going to age incredibly well. To me, that would make them the favorites, I think, in the NBA. And I don't think there's another move outside of Kevin Durant. If you could get Kevin Durant to come here, that those are the two moves, the outlier moves, that I think would make them favorites to win the NBA title. Anything else, I feel like you'd be maybe going backwards.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see what they would have to give up to get a guy like that, aside from DeAndre Ayton. But if you want to know more about that, you can watch the Sun Show from yesterday, and just the Sun Show in general every single day, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. I'll be talking about some Devin Booker stuff later today at 2, so don't miss out on that. But this is a betting show, and we will tell you how to make some money. And you can do that on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you download it using that promo code PHNX this week, you can bet just $5 on any NBA team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. Promo code PHNX this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you're looking to turn a small bet like Johnny is into a big payout, you can do the same game parlay features. And right now, if you're not a new customer, you can bet up to 3 legs on a same game parlay, and if one of your legs doesn't hit, you can get all your money back up to $25. So make sure to do that on the DraftKings Sportsbook app because it makes things more fun. You can keep your eyes on everything. You can get some Gabe Vincent props parlayed with some Max Strus props and watch the Heat just steamroll the Celtics, even though I think the Celtics probably win game 2, but we'll get to that tomorrow on the PHNX Daily Bet Show. But yeah, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use that promo code PHNX when you sign up. But just $5 on any NBA team to win their game. Get $150 in free bets if they do. That's promo code PHNX this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. That's 21 plus. Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for more details. Johnny, what do you like tonight in the series? Mavs Warriors game 1, baby.
Give me the dynasty that is the Golden State Warriors to throttle the Dallas Mavericks. Suck it, everybody that feels like this Mavericks team is the team of destiny. I think you caught a Suns team in turmoil. I think it says less about what the Dallas Mavericks did and the fact that something is going on with the Phoenix Suns because they did not look right the entirety of the playoffs. They did not put together a complete series. They almost, good God, lost to the Pelicans. The Golden State Warriors, this is a matchup we should be previewing for Phoenix. We were robbed of that. They are a freight train from hell. They are a team that I always thought, if they could get healthy at the end of the season, would be the definitive roadblock for the Suns, because I feel like the Suns, outside of a healthy Milwaukee, would be able to beat anybody in the East. The only team standing in their way would be Golden State in the West. And now Golden State gets a Mavericks team that's incredibly reliant on a singular player who, by the way, is not on the caliber of Steph Curry. Klay Thompson coming into form, who's going to play phenomenal defense per usual. Jordan Poole, if they get anything out of him. We talked about it yesterday in your absence, Shane. You can get the Golden State Warriors on DraftKings to sweep the Dallas Mavericks at plus 700.
That's disgusting. Didn't we just do this? Didn't we just do this with the Phoenix?
Dallas, here's my argument to be made. Putting $10 on that. They are emotionally spent. I believe they just won their NBA championship and beating the Suns, the upset. They're emotionally spent, and now they go into an environment in Golden State where I do not believe they're not going to win a game in Golden State. And I think the Warriors, who, by the way, took a bunch of games off against Memphis, they screwed around. That series was over in the first 2 games. Ja got hurt. They rested people. They didn't have Steve Kerr for 3 games. He's back. Steve Kerr versus Jason Kidd in the coaching matchup. Good hell. The Suns, I can't explain what happened to them, but I can explain exactly what the Golden State Warriors are going to do to the Dallas Mavericks. They are going to deconstruct them. I would be shocked if this goes beyond 5
Do
games.
you really not think that Jason Kidd had nothing to do with the Mavericks winning that series?
Listen, I'm not going to speak ill will about the Suns on this show anymore because I have moved on. I think it was 90% Suns internal meltdown, 10% what Dallas did.
I think Dallas did a lot with that 5 out, and that's why I'm taking the under in this game. Under 214. I'm
taking the Warriors too.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to get swept by any means. I'll talk about that in a second. Taking the Warriors tonight. I think it's going to be closer than people think, though. I think the Warriors probably finished the game on a strong run and ended up winning by 10, but it's going to be close most of the game. But I'm liking the under because, one, we saw what Golden State's offense has kind of turned into in this past month. Aside from a couple big runs to end games, most of those games were close against a Morantless Dallas, or excuse me, Morantless Grizzlies.
They weren't into that series. They weren't.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can say that, but still, there were some really uncharacteristic turnovers, and this team is built kind of like the Suns on offense a little bit when it comes to how Dallas is going to defend it. They're going to take away Curry. They're going to try to take away Thompson, and they're going to have to beat you with the role players. The role players are way more capable of scoring than the Suns were, but I still think you're going to get a low-scoring affair in that first half, and probably the first couple of games in the series until both teams figure out what's going to work. So I'm taking the under at 214 in this game. But look, in terms of the series, one, I think Dallas isn't getting enough credit. I think the Suns are kind of taking the spotlight in terms of
wait. You don't think the Dallas Mavericks are getting enough credit? The entire series, even when they were up 2-0, the Suns were. Everybody wanted to talk about Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks.
Talking about right now. I think everybody just loves talking about the Suns meltdown and all of that. I don't think people are reading into it enough on what Dallas did defensively in this series. About double teaming and making sure that you have to beat us in other ways. So that's why I'm taking the under in this game. But I also think that this game's going to go 6 games, or the series is going to go 6 games. I think Dallas makes it close. All right, we'll come back to this clip after the series is over. Also, I appreciate a good bit, Johnny, and Jay is sticking by his good bit. Earlier he commented, pull up his second comment. He said, Dallas needs a big, also Mavs in 5. Sadly, I'm an honest Warriors fan. This is the honest Suns fan earlier in the week or last week. So props to him for sticking with the bit at least, and be nice in the chat, guys. Don't be mean.
No, we can get this is like the mosh pit, maybe.
And hey, I understand Dallas is getting love. They're getting a ton of love, and it makes me sick. But what I'm saying is the defensive adjustments and what they did on defense isn't being talked about as much as the Suns breaking.
Quit trying to justify the Suns loss. That, like, you got to eat a shit sandwich when you see it. Here's the thing. The Cardinals got destroyed by the LA Rams. It was made easier by the fact that the Rams won the Super Bowl. When the Mavericks get stomped a mud hole in their ass this series by Steph Curry and company,
holy shit,
multi-time champion, then we're going to be able to sit back and say, God, that Suns loss, even worse than we thought. I think a lot of Suns fans, and I'm not putting you in this category, but this is what it's coming off to me as, are trying to justify an embarrassing Game 7 performance, vomiting all over themselves by the fact that you feel like the Mavericks can make this competitive. This will not be competitive at all. It won't be.
Well, again, not once was I trying to justify Game 7 whatsoever. I'm just saying a lot of people turn to the meltdown of the Suns as their offense couldn't score, but nobody ever really is talking about what the Mavs did defensively, and I think it's going to translate well against the Warriors team. And I think we'll wait and see because game 1 is tonight. Chat, please drop your predictions for the series, what you guys think. Mavs in 7, Warriors in 4, whatever you think, drop in the chat. We'd love to know. Johnny, we got some props to talk about. Why don't you go first, Mr. Longshot?
Yeah, I love my props today, and I love making you money, friends. Steph Curry first field goal plus 500. Everybody's talking about Luka. I think he's going to be ball dominant tonight. You absolutely love to see it. You've got people like JJ Redick going on national TV saying he'd rather have Luka over Steph Curry. You don't think that fuels this man? One of the greatest players in NBA history, top 10, the greatest shooter in NBA history. The fact that they are a walking, I don't know, underdog in the minds of the general public who are all over the Mavericks right now. I think he's going to dominate. And Jalen Brunson, I will give him credit. Okay, Luka, I get it. He's a one-man wrecking crew. He had a phenomenal series. Brunson himself was easily their best scoring option opposite Luka. And if Luka gets a little erratic tonight and the shots aren't falling and he's D'd up by Klay Thompson, Brunson, who had 24 the other night, who eclipsed 30 in that series, I think once against the Phoenix Suns, like plus 380 to go over 29 tonight is not out of the realm of possibility for him. He's incredibly efficient. He shot almost 60% Sunday night against the Suns. He's fantastic at the basket, underrated from three. I think probably one of my favorite players to watch in this postseason. If we take off the jerseys, he just, to me, I think he is one of their better complementary players for the Dallas Mavericks. So I like him going over that tonight.
Yeah. So a lot of people are talking about Luka's PRA, 51.5, I think is what it's set at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying away just because I don't know what that matchup between Draymond and him is going to look like. Draymond is the perfect shell of a guy to defend a guy like Luka.
Yeah.
You don't have to be super fast. You just have to be big.
Physical.
And,
yeah.
Yeah. And Ayton is big, but he wasn't able to guard his step back. Draymond is an excellent defender, first team all defense, just a guy that is just a menace. And I think he might get the best of Luka tonight. But if you remember, Johnny, who was the guy in game 6 and 7 that brought that Mavs team to the next level on offense?
Their bench player. What was his name?
Spencer effing Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
My God, if he gets going tonight, watch the hell out.
What do you have? 30 points? He had 30 points Sunday.
He could not miss in those last two games. And that's what these Mavs fans were preaching the entire series. This team was playing well without Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie, a guy they traded for midseason, who, by the way, was one of the leading scorers earlier in the season on his team. I'm scared of what the Mavs can do if he gets going, and I'm scared of this team to make it a long series. And I know you don't want to hear it, and I understand why. I can believe in the Warriors, and I get the defense of the Warriors. Trust me, I could see the Warriors completely blowing this team out of the water, but at the same time, if they get production from their Bullocks and their Dorian Finney-Smiths again, and good hell if they get production from Dinwiddie, it's going to be a scary series.
We cannot compare the physicality of DeAndre Ayton, who was mentally and physically soft in that series. I'm not saying he's a soft player. He played soft in that series. He got exposed to Draymond Green, who is one of the probably mentally toughest players we have seen as an underdog player, an undersized player over the past decade.
Yeah, there's no comparison.
And what he is going to do to Luka Doncic and company. I feel like he's not an offensive threat anymore. That's fine. And I think DeAndre Ayton is an underrated offensive player, and I don't think he gets the ball enough. But from a physical defensive standpoint, he was exposed against the Dallas Mavericks. I do not see that happening for Golden State.
I think
underneath the basket.
I think something that we can agree on, Johnny, is this is going to be one of the best series in terms of not just trash talk, but also just mind games between him and Luka.
Yep.
There's going.
I agree with that. He'll get on his podcast right afterwards and talk a bunch of shit. That being Draymond Green. You talk about a guy who's got confidence in himself to be able to do that. It's like when I get off this show and I do another podcast and I talk shit about you on PHNX Cardinals.
Amazing. Well, regardless, I'm really excited for this series tonight. Haydot saying if someone like Marcus Smart guards Luka, he won't be scoring like that. That's what I thought about Mikal Bridges, though. And I know physicality, that's probably why you're saying it, but I don't know.
Marcus Smart has to get on the court first.
I just think Draymond Green is the perfect matchup for Luka. And these are my props for tonight, and this is what I like in terms of this game. Steph Curry over 5.5 assists. I talked about it earlier in the show. We saw what the Mavericks' plan of attack was on defense against the Suns. It was to double Devin Booker. It was to take away Chris Paul on the defensive end and make him tired. I think Steph is going to have to work a lot on defense. I think they're going to try to switch him on to Luka a ton. I don't know if the Mavs will let that happen, or the Warriors will let that happen, but we will see. But regardless, I think on offense, he's going to have to create a lot more than just shoot. They're not going to give him his 25-footers. They're not going to let him just drive to the rim at will. I think the Mavs are going to make him pass, and that's why I'm taking his over 5.5 assists. And then another guy who kind of falls into this category of the Steph Curry having to create and take away star players. Andrew Wiggins, an all-star starter himself, is going to have to score a lot for this team. I was between him and Jordan Poole over threes. His is only over 1.5, and you can get that at plus 120 right now in the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I think both of these are very, very safe props, and I like them both to cover pretty easily. It's just a matter of if Wiggins threes are falling tonight.
Via the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, the prohibitive favorite to win the NBA title, the Warriors at plus 135. The Dallas Mavericks have the worst odds at plus 550. I do think if the Dallas Mavericks somehow get out of the West, that they have a chance to win the NBA title. If it's that flukish and we see them get past Golden State in 6-7 games, I'll be the first person to come on here and say I was wrong. All the Dallas fans in the chat. So I think if you like them to beat Golden State in this series, then you like them to win the NBA championship. So you might as well go put money down on plus 550 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Do it now. Because right now, to even win the Western Conference, they're only plus 185. And Warriors are like 225. So you might as well just go all in.
We have some predictions. TC says Warriors in 6, by the way. Mavs in 5, Warriors in 5. Wow, these are, we got a Suns in 4.
If you believe Luka Doncic is a transcendent player, by the way, it was taken 2 picks after DeAndre Ayton. If you think he is the next great NBA player and that he can carry a team to a championship in his, 3rd or 4th year, then I understand your rationale, but that's the only thing you have to go off of. I don't buy the rest of this Mavericks team at all. I certainly don't buy Jason Kidd. Because if you're saying Jason Kidd outcoached Monty Williams, I can't help you.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. We'll talk about this later. And you can find that on the Sun Show every Monday through Friday at noon or at 12. We're here every Monday or at 2. We're here every Monday through Friday at noon at 12. Right here on the PHNX Sports.
We have a lot of shows.
Johnny, anything else for you to plug?
Yeah, we have a guest today on PHNX Cardinals.
Pretty special one, I would say.
4 p.m. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Ian Rappaport, Rap Sheet, will make his PHNX Cardinals debut today at 4 o'clock with myself and Bo Brock. We're going to give you the latest with Rap Sheet with regard to Kyler Murray's contract situation, why Cliff and Kime were extended to begin with, what's Vance Joseph's deal, defensive coordinator. I might even ask him about new uniforms. We'll see. But we've got Rap Sheet, NFL Insider Extraordinaire on PHNX Cardinals Live today at 4 p.m. Do not miss it.
Yep, very exciting. Right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. You can follow PHNX Sports across all socials at PHNX_sports. That's Twitter, that's YouTube, that's TikTok. It's a good time over here. You can follow me on Twitter at Shane Deef. You can follow Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Venerable to keep plugged in with all the Cardinals news. Mr. Cardinals Insider himself, Johnny Venerable.
Hey, Dallas Mavericks fans in the chat. Remember when Kyler Murray went to Jerry's World and beat the holy hell out of the Cowboys? That was great.
Yeah, that was good. But somebody calling you out saying you didn't buy the Mavs versus Phoenix and you got destroyed.
Okay, first of all,
to be fair, Johnny, to be fair, I didn't buy the Mavs versus Phoenix. I will admit, I was on the show saying it was going to be a sweep.
It said more. I'll eat all the crow. We'll come back. I want the Dallas fans to continue to watch the show. It's good for our programming. But if the Mavericks somehow get out of the West, like I'll put down any kind of stipulation you want. But I think again, I'm that high on the Warriors, and the Suns meltdown was internal. I very little to do with what the Dallas Mavericks did.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. I think the Warriors get out of the series, but I also wouldn't be completely blown away if the Mavs win it, and I think they're going to make a good series. But regardless, you can find all of the content on this or for the conference finals right here, daily bets, Monday through Friday at noon without failure. So come back tomorrow as we talk Celtics and Heat game 2. Come back on Thursday for game 2 in this series, or on Friday for game 2 in this series. We're locked in here. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, every Monday through Friday at noon, right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Peace, love, and PRA.